Still to come, the Slacker Confessions. When AM returns, don't go away.
Disclaimer, all of these stories are true, honest accounts of my experiences, not mine, but the guy you're going to meet in a second. To avoid being whacked, beaten, and or sued, I've totally disguised people, personalities, and likenesses, and this is part of the book called The Slacker Confessions. A guy who's been, I think, everything in life, from stand-up comic to pizza chef, is now an author. Tommy Campbell is here.
Good to be here, man.
So how does this come about? Because how many jobs have you had?
It's tough to say. I mean, there's so many. 40, 50?
And you're what, 23? 3?
Yeah.
And you've had 50 jobs since like, when did you get into the workforce?
I was about 12. I mean, that doesn't include, like, you know, the, like, washing cars and
You're
stuff
versatile.
like that, yeah,
You've done a lot of stuff.
I can do it all, you know.
So how, now,
all around sort of thing.
And this is kind of your life, a decade of day jobs.
Well, yeah, I guess that's 10 years of my life, but, you know, it's kind of like that searching for something you love, right? Bouncing around from job to job, you know? Not worrying about the security, just saying, you know, if you don't like something, just screw it, leave, right?
How many jobs, like, what was the shortest term of a job that you ever had?
45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I went into this one job, and I'd been hired, and I showed up, and then the position had changed. It was just in this restaurant, and they told me I was going to be a host. So they said that I was going to be greeting customers, and I was kind of wasn't too interested in that, you know. So I figured I still needed the job. So I'd been there for about 15 minutes, and my cell phone rang, and it was this cartoon studio. I do these cartoon voices, and they said, we need you to do this new show. So I said, oh, great, and I'm sitting there being trained by this guy, so he's kind of appalled that I've answered the phone, in training, but I'm like, well, that was my grandma, God bless her, right? And so he takes me on a tour of the rest of the restaurant to show me the training, and he says, this is the back door, and I'm like, cool. And he goes, well, it's just a back door. And I'm like, well, open it, and he opens it up, and I just ran out. Like, see ya. Thanks, man, that was cool.
Well, tell me about how now you've had so many jobs, how do you get the latest job, writing a book, being an author?
Oh, it's just an addiction, man. It's writing is something that I've always loved, I think it comes from, like, my dad Joe and my grandpa George, like, sort of Irish storytellers, right? And so I just, I was with a friend one night, and I was always sort of a storyteller, and we were drunk. Sorry.
Okay.
We'd been drinking, I started drinking.
A lot of stories begin, by the way.
Yeah, I started drinking, I started telling these stories, right? And then he started laughing, and he said, Tommy, you have so many stories, and they're just so incredible. Like, like your adventures are just out of this world. And he said, you should, put those together, because, a lot of stories are about the work world. You've done so many things for someone your age. So started writing, and then next thing you know, I'd be out at parties, and I'd be going home to write, and it just became an addiction, right?
I'm sure you have the top 100 of the best stories of your life and during this. But what's, in your mind, the best? Give us a glimpse of this book. Give us the best story.
Well, what I can say on television?
Yeah, because I was going to tell you, this is kind of like reading the Osbournes, too.
Well, something I could say was like, okay, I was working in this one restaurant, right? And it was like this June afternoon, and I was a bartender at the time. And we had this margarita machine. There was a big sign on it that said, margarita machine must be cleaned every night. And now cleaning it was like you had to like drain it and flush it and clean it, and it took a while. So, I said I won't do it, right? I'd say I did it, but I didn't clean it.
Yeah.
And I figured that the closing bartender the next night would clean it. But he was just as bad as I was. So he was thinking I was cleaning it, I was thinking he was cleaning it, but in reality no one was cleaning it.
I don't think I want to go to this bar, by the way.
It's just a standard issue, When you're young, you don't think about consequences. You think about what's funny, and that's what a lot of that is about, is not thinking about what's going to happen. So this like dead sexy girl walks in, right? And I'm like, wow, right? Throw down the coaster. What would you like to drink? And she says, oh, I'll have a strawberry margarita. So I'm thinking, cool, right? I want to hit on this girl. She's got, big guns. So I go over and I make this margarita for her, and I set it down, and make a bad attempt at a flirt, and I go back to work, and she says, hey, bartender, can you get me a new margarita? There's too many seeds in this one, the strawberry margarita. So I go back over, and I take it away, and I'm walking to dump it out, and I think to myself, there's no seeds in a strawberry margarita. It's fruit, artificial fruit flavoring, right? So I hold it up to the light, and it's full of all these little flies. They're just like an army of them swimming around in there. I'm like, right? So I dump it down, and I look back at her, and I'm thinking, oh. So I make her a new one in the blender, right? Because I don't want to touch the machine because it's obviously full of flies, right? And I bring it back over to her, and this is like the super hot girl that I'm, now in love with, and I set it down. I say, yeah, sorry about that. There's a new one on the house. And she goes, yeah. She goes, the seed's really bugging me. And she smiles, and her teeth are just full of these flies. She had like teeth like on a toothpaste commercial, like picture perfect, and they're covered with all these little bugs.
So you lost the attraction for this girl?
Oh, God. Well, that's the bad part, is then she hits on me. Then she says, so when's your shift over? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, great. The one time this girl comes in, and I'm like so bad with women, actually hits on me, it's got to be the girl that eats bugs.
She got bugs in her teeth.
Yeah, so I told the other guys about the story, and I guess, well, we laughed. And then decided that we'd clean it all the time, right?
Well, that's a good thing. It's the slacker confessions. Are you a slacker, though?
Well, yeah, no.
You're a slacker with a margarita machine.
I'm a slacker, like I said. When it comes to things that are just funny, you know what? I just want to have a good time. I just want to enjoy myself.
You do stand-up comedy.
Yeah, yeah. I tour the country doing stand-up comedy, and I write a lot. And I guess I couldn't be a slacker if I written a book.
No, you couldn't.
Because, I mean, that took 3 years. I mean,
Well,
I lost friends and relationships over writing that.
You've ruined your reputation now.
Yeah, getting a job wasn't easy. I'll tell you that, because I needed a day job. When I finished writing that book, I needed a bit of a day job.
We've only got a few seconds. I know your mom's watching. Is that who's watching?
Oh, well, yeah. It's my mom's birthday today, and so I wanted to, say happy birthday, Mom, but I'm not sure she's going to be able to see it because the penitentiary...
Go and run over there and give her a kiss right on the camera, man.
Well, go
for it. Kiss the camera. Go for it.
See,
Go.
I don't know if there's a point to it.
Just hurry up. You got 10 seconds.
She's in prison.
No, right up there.
So,
there you go.
She's in prison. They took away her TV rights. So,
there you go. All right.
I don't know.